Hello there, friends. I'm so glad you stopped by today. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever grabbed a handful of nuts, thinking this is healthy, right? Well, you're not alone. Nuts can be wonderful for our bodies, especially as we age, but not all nuts are created equal. In this video, we're diving into the 3 best nuts to nourish your health, and 3 you might want to steer clear of, especially if you're watching your heart, blood sugar, or digestion. We'll also talk about why some nuts are better than others, using simple real-life examples and a dash of nutritional science. Grab a comfy seat and maybe a cup of tea. Let's look out for your well-being together. Let's start with one of the most popular and healthiest nuts you can enjoy, almonds. These little nuts are truly heart helpers, especially important for us as we get older. Almonds are packed with vitamin E, fiber, magnesium, and healthy fats that work together to support your cardiovascular system. Why does this matter? Well, heart disease is one of the most common health concerns as we age. Keeping our hearts healthy can help us stay active and enjoy more time with loved ones. Almonds help by lowering bad cholesterol, known as old cholesterol, which can clog arteries if it gets too high. They also provide antioxidants that protect your cells from damage. Here's a simple way to think about it. Imagine your arteries like pipes that carry water to your home. If those pipes get clogged with gunk, the water flow slows down, right? Well, eating almonds regularly helps keep those pipes clearer so blood can flow smoothly through your heart and body. I want to share a little story about a lovely woman named Elaine. She's 72 and lives in Oregon. A few years ago, Elaine was worried about her cholesterol numbers. Her doctor suggested small lifestyle changes, and one of those was adding almonds to her diet. She started eating about a handful every day, either as a snack or sprinkled on her salad. After a few months, Elaine went back to her doctor for a checkup. To her delight, her cholesterol had improved noticeably, and she felt more energetic too. She said it was a small change but made a big difference. And the best part, almonds are easy to include in everyday meals. Now, you might wonder about the best way to enjoy almonds. The healthiest choices are raw or dry roasted almonds without added salt or sugar. Those little flavorings can sneak in unwanted sodium or calories, which might not be great if you're watching your blood pressure or weight. Almonds also make a wonderful addition to oatmeal, yogurt, or even a green salad. You can crush a few and sprinkle them on top for extra crunch and nutrition. Or just enjoy a small handful as a quick snack to tide you over between meals. Another thing I love about almonds is that they're very versatile. You can keep them in your purse or car for a healthy snack on the go. That way, you're less tempted by less nutritious snacks like chips or cookies. One gentle reminder, even though almonds are healthy, they're calorie dense, so sticking to a small handful, about 20 to 24 almonds, is a good idea. That's roughly 1 ounce or a quarter cup. This amount gives you the health benefits without overdoing it on calories. Finally, almonds are also great for bone health because they contain magnesium and calcium. This is especially important for seniors to help maintain strong bones and reduce the risk of fractures. So, to wrap up this part, almonds are heart-friendly, full of nutrients, and easy to add to your daily routine. Like Elaine, many people have found that a simple handful each day can support better heart health and overall well-being. I hope you feel encouraged to give almonds a try if you haven't already. Next, we'll explore walnuts, the brain-boosting nuts that might just keep your memory sharp and your mind clear. Now, let's talk about walnuts. These nuts are like little brain boosters, especially wonderful as we get older. Walnuts are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are the good fats that support brain health. Many studies suggest that eating walnuts regularly may help slow cognitive decline, keep memory sharper, and improve overall brain function. Why is this important? Well, as we age, it's natural to worry about our memory and thinking skills. Maybe you've noticed a few senior moments yourself, forgetting names, misplacing keys, or feeling a little slower on the uptake. It happens to all of us. The good news is, what we eat can play a role in how well our brains stay sharp. Walnuts contain a special type of omega-3 called alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, which is plant-based and helps reduce inflammation in the brain. Inflammation can cause damage over time, so reducing it is a big win for brain health. Walnuts also have antioxidants and polyphenols that protect brain cells from damage caused by stress or aging. Let me share a little story that might sound familiar. George, a 68-year-old retiree, began adding crushed walnuts to his morning oatmeal about a year ago. He told me he felt more alert throughout the day and less forgetful. George also noticed he was better able to concentrate when reading or chatting with friends. He said it was a simple change but made a noticeable difference. You don't need a big handful to get these benefits. About 7 walnut halves a day is a great amount. That's roughly an ounce. Walnuts have a rich, slightly bitter taste that some people love. If you're new to them, you can try mixing walnuts into salads, yogurt, or even baked goods like muffins. A handy tip to keep in mind: walnuts spoil quickly because of their healthy fats. It's best to store them in the refrigerator or freezer to keep them fresh and tasty. Keeping them cold prevents them from turning rancid, which can happen if they sit out too long. Now, walnuts might not be for everyone. Some people find them a bit hard to chew or have allergies. If that's the case, don't worry. There are other brain-healthy foods to explore. But for those who enjoy walnuts, they're a wonderful natural way to support your memory. Another nice thing about walnuts is that they're good for the heart too. They help reduce bad cholesterol and improve blood vessel function. So while you're helping your brain, you're also helping your heart. It's a win-win. And remember, moderation is key. Walnuts are calorie-dense, so stick to a small handful daily. This way, you get the brain-boosting benefits without too many extra calories. If you're curious, you might want to try a simple walnut snack like mixing them with a few dried cranberries or a sprinkle of cinnamon for extra flavor. It's a delicious way to enjoy them and keep your snack routine interesting. So to sum up, walnuts are packed with nutrients that support brain health, help reduce inflammation, and keep your memory sharp. Adding just a small handful to your day can be a gentle but powerful step toward better cognitive wellness. Next up, we'll talk about pistachios, the little nuts that are great for balancing blood sugar and keeping your energy steady throughout the day. Stay tuned. Let's talk about pistachios, those small, green, and delicious nuts that pack a big punch when it comes to keeping your blood sugar balanced. As we age, managing blood sugar becomes more important, not just for people with diabetes, but for everyone who wants steady energy and overall well-being. Pistachios are special because they're lower in calories compared to many other nuts and are rich in fiber and protein. These two nutrients work together to slow down how quickly sugar enters your bloodstream after eating. This means pistachios can help prevent those energy spikes and crashes we sometimes feel after meals or snacks. Here's a simple way to think about it. Imagine your blood sugar as a roller coaster. You want to keep it smooth and steady, not up and down with sudden drops or spikes. Pistachios act like a gentle brake, keeping that ride calmer and more enjoyable. Let me share a story about Carmen, who's 65. After being told she had prediabetes, Carmen decided to make small changes to her diet. One of her favorite swaps was replacing salty chips with pistachios as an afternoon snack. She noticed she no longer felt that tired, shaky feeling a couple of hours after eating, and her blood sugar numbers improved when she visited her doctor. Plus, she loved the satisfying crunch pistachios gave her. Pistachios also have a good balance of healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals, including potassium, which helps keep blood pressure in check, a common concern as we get older. They also contain antioxidants that protect your cells from damage. When buying pistachios, it's best to look for the unsalted, dry roasted kind. Those with lots of salt can raise blood pressure, and flavored versions sometimes have added sugars or unhealthy fats. Also, choosing pistachios still in their shells can be a clever way to eat less since you have to shell each nut one by one. This slows you down and helps with portion control, which is really helpful if you're trying to watch your calories. A good serving size is about 1 ounce or roughly 49 pistachios. That might seem like a lot, but remember, eating a measured handful will keep your snack enjoyable without going overboard. Another tip is to mix pistachios into your salads, yogurt, or even sprinkle some over roasted veggies. They add a nice texture and a bit of protein to your meals, helping you feel fuller for longer. Now, some people worry about nuts being hard to digest, especially if they have sensitive stomachs. If you find pistachios a bit heavy, try soaking them in water for a few hours before eating. This can make them easier on your digestion. Overall, pistachios are a tasty, versatile nut that supports steady blood sugar, heart health, and even weight management. Just remember to enjoy them in moderation and choose the healthier versions. So, to wrap this up, if you want a crunchy snack that helps balance blood sugar and keeps your energy even throughout the day, pistachios are a fantastic choice. Carmen's story shows how small changes can lead to better health, and you can enjoy these nuts any time of day. Coming up next, we'll talk about cashews, the nut you might want to enjoy sparingly. Stay tuned. Now, let's chat about cashews. They're creamy, delicious, and often show up in snacks and recipes. But while they might seem like a healthy choice, for some seniors, cashews deserve a little caution. Cashews are higher in carbohydrates compared to many other nuts, and they contain less fiber. This combination means they can cause a quicker rise in blood sugar, which might be a concern if you're managing diabetes or trying to keep your energy steady throughout the day. Here's a way to think about it. If your blood sugar is like a gently flowing river, cashews can sometimes create little ripples or waves that disrupt that calm flow. For those with blood sugar sensitivities, this can lead to spikes that feel like sudden bursts of energy followed by a crash later on. I want to share a story about Joe, a 70-year-old gentleman who enjoyed snacking on cashews every evening while watching his favorite TV shows. At first, he didn't think much of it. They were tasty and easy to grab. But over time, Joe noticed his blood sugar numbers creeping up, and his pants started to feel a bit tighter around the waist. After speaking with his doctor and a nutritionist, Joe decided to swap cashews for almonds and walnuts. Within a few weeks, he felt better, and his blood sugar stabilized. Plus, he lost a couple of pounds without feeling deprived. Another thing to keep in mind is that cashews are often sold roasted and salted. This can add quite a bit of extra sodium, which is something many seniors need to watch to keep blood pressure in check. Too much salt can lead to swelling, high blood pressure, and even heart problems over time. If you do love cashews and want to include them in your diet, try to choose raw or dry roasted varieties without added salt or oils. And enjoy them in moderation, about a small handful or less if you're watching blood sugar or weight. Cashews can also be found in creamy sauces or dairy alternatives like cashew milk or cheese. These can be great if you're looking for plant-based options, but be mindful of portion sizes and any added sugars in flavored versions. One more thing to remember, cashews are a bit higher in calories than some other nuts. So if you're counting calories, they might add up faster than you realize. Balancing cashews with plenty of vegetables, whole grains, and other protein sources is a good idea. If you experience any digestion issues, like bloating or discomfort after eating cashews, it's okay to cut back or try other nuts that agree better with your system. Your body's signals are important to listen to. To sum it up, cashews can be a tasty treat, but for seniors especially, it's wise to enjoy them with care. If you're managing blood sugar, watching weight, or controlling sodium, think about limiting your cashew intake and replacing them with heartier, fiber-rich nuts like almonds or walnuts. Remember Joe's story. A small change made a big difference in how he felt and his overall health. That's the power of paying attention and making mindful choices. Next, we'll explore macadamia nuts, another delicious but sometimes tricky nut to enjoy. Stay with me. Let's talk about macadamia nuts. These nuts are famous for their rich, buttery flavor and creamy texture, which many people absolutely love. But as delicious as they are, macadamias come with a little caution, especially for seniors paying close attention to their heart health and weight. Macadamia nuts are very high in fat, more than most other nuts. And while a lot of those fats are the good kind, like monounsaturated fats, they also contain a higher amount of saturated fat. Saturated fat is the type that, when eaten in excess, can raise cholesterol levels and increase the risk of heart disease. Think of it like this. Your heart is a hard-working muscle that pumps blood all day long. When there's too much saturated fat in your diet, it can cause some buildup inside your arteries, making it harder for blood to flow smoothly. Over time, this can lead to high blood pressure or other heart problems, which many of us want to avoid. Here's a story about Linda, a 70-year-old who loved macadamia nuts, especially the white chocolate macadamia cookies she'd sometimes enjoy with her afternoon tea. After noticing her cholesterol levels creeping up during a routine checkup, her doctor suggested cutting back on saturated fats, including macadamias and those cookies. Linda decided to swap her daily cookie habit for a small handful of almonds or walnuts instead. Within a couple of months, she lost a few pounds and her cholesterol improved. She told me she didn't miss the cookies as much as she thought she would, and she felt more energetic overall. It's important to understand that macadamias are very calorie-dense. Because of their high-fat content, just a small handful contains quite a few calories, which can add up quickly if you're not careful. This can lead to weight gain, which may increase the risk of heart disease, diabetes, and other health issues. If you want to enjoy macadamia nuts, it's best to keep the portions small, maybe just a tablespoon or so, rather than a large handful. Think of them as a special treat rather than an everyday snack. Another thing to be mindful of is the way macadamias are often prepared. Many store-bought versions are salted or coated in sugar or chocolate, which adds extra calories, sodium, and sometimes sugar, all of which can work against your health goals. If you do love macadamias, try to buy raw or dry roasted versions without added salt or sugar. Store them in a cool, dark place or in the fridge to keep them fresh longer. Remember, enjoying macadamias once in a while as a treat is perfectly okay. The key is moderation. Balancing your nut intake with plenty of fiber-rich foods like vegetables, fruits, and whole grains will help keep your heart and body in good shape. To sum it up, macadamia nuts are delicious and rich, but because of their high saturated fat and calorie content, seniors should enjoy them sparingly. Swapping them for nuts with a better fat profile, like almonds or walnuts, can be a heart-smart choice. Linda's story is a great reminder that small changes, like cutting back on macadamia treats, can lead to big improvements in health and well-being. Coming up next, we'll talk about pecans and how to enjoy them without the hidden sugar pitfalls. Stick around. Pecans are a favorite nut for many because of their rich, buttery flavor and satisfying crunch. They're often seen as a healthy snack, and in many ways they are. Pecans are full of heart-healthy monounsaturated fats, fiber, vitamins, and minerals like magnesium and zinc. These nutrients support everything from your heart to your immune system. But there's a catch. Pecans often come with added sugars, especially in packaged snacks, desserts, or candied versions you might find around the holidays. And for seniors, managing sugar intake is really important, whether you're watching your blood sugar or simply trying to avoid extra calories that don't add much nutrition. Why is sugar a concern? As we get older, our bodies become less efficient at processing sugar. This can lead to spikes in blood glucose levels, and over time may increase the risk of type 2 diabetes or worsen existing diabetes. Excess sugar also contributes to inflammation, which is linked to many chronic conditions like heart disease and arthritis. Let me share a story about Martha, who's 74. Martha loves pecans, especially candied pecans she would sprinkle on her salads or enjoy as a snack. Over time, she noticed her blood sugar readings were creeping higher, and she felt more tired after eating sweets. After chatting with her healthcare provider, Martha realized that the candied pecans were adding more sugar than she expected. Martha switched to raw or dry roasted pecans without added sugar and noticed a big difference. She still enjoyed the flavor and texture, but didn't have the sugar highs and lows anymore. Plus, her energy felt more balanced throughout the day. If you love pecans, here's a gentle tip. Always check the label when buying packaged pecans. Look for versions without added sugar, salt, or unhealthy fats. Raw or dry roasted pecans are the best choice to get the full health benefits without the extra sugar. Pecans also make a wonderful addition to salads, oatmeal, or yogurt. You can even lightly toast them at home to bring out their natural flavor without adding anything extra. This way, you get all the tasty goodness without the sugar spike. A serving size of pecans is about 1 ounce, or roughly 19 halves. This amount gives you a good boost of nutrients and healthy fats, but be mindful of portion sizes to avoid eating too many calories at once. Another note, pecans are rich in antioxidants, which help fight free radicals and may protect your cells from damage linked to aging. This means pecans can be part of a diet that supports overall vitality and wellness. If you're new to pecans or trying to cut back on sugar, start slowly. Try replacing sugary snacks with a handful of plain pecans and see how your body responds. Small changes like this can have a big impact over time. To sum it up, pecans are a delicious and nutritious nut that seniors can enjoy. But be careful about added sugars in packaged or candied versions. Choosing plain, unsweetened pecans will help keep your blood sugar steady and support your health. Martha's experience reminds us that paying attention to what's added to our foods is just as important as the foods themselves. Enjoying pecans in their natural form is the healthiest way to benefit from their goodness. Coming up next, we'll talk about one more nut to avoid for your well-being: peanuts. Stick around. Now, this one might surprise you. Peanuts are one of the most commonly eaten nuts out there, though technically they're legumes, not true nuts. They're in peanut butter, trail mixes, snack bars, and often handed out by the handful at parties or on airplanes. And while they do have some nutrients for many seniors, peanuts may not be the best choice for daily snacking. First, let's look at what makes peanuts tricky. They are high in omega-6 fatty acids. These fats aren't all bad. We do need some in our diet, but too much omega-6 without enough omega-3, like the kind in walnuts or flax seeds, can lead to inflammation in the body. Inflammation has been linked to many chronic conditions that tend to show up with age, like arthritis, heart disease, and even certain types of cancer. Another issue is how peanuts are often prepared. Many are roasted in oils that aren't the healthiest or come salted and flavored, which adds extra sodium and sometimes sugar. For someone watching their blood pressure or trying to maintain a heart-friendly diet, this can be a concern. Let me tell you about Ed, a 72-year-old who used to snack on a bowl of salted peanuts every night while watching TV. Over time, he started having more joint pain and noticed his blood pressure going up. After talking with his doctor and reading a bit more about anti-inflammatory diets, Ed decided to switch from peanuts to a mix of almonds and pistachios. Within a few weeks, his joint stiffness improved, and his blood pressure numbers came down a bit too. Now, it's not that peanuts are all bad. They do have protein and some healthy fats, and natural peanut butter can be okay in moderation, especially if it's made with just peanuts and maybe a pinch of salt. The problem is how easy it is to overdo it, especially with peanut butter or salted peanuts, which are both calorie-dense and very tempting to keep eating. If you do enjoy peanuts, try to limit the amount you eat and go for unsalted, dry roasted ones when possible. And be mindful of how they make you feel. If you notice joint aches, digestive discomfort, or blood pressure creeping up, it might be worth trying a different nut and seeing how your body responds. Another thing to be aware of is that peanuts are one of the most common food allergens. Even if you're not allergic yourself, it's always good to be cautious when sharing snacks with others, especially grandchildren or friends who may have sensitivities. To sum it up, peanuts are easy to find and affordable, but they may not be the best daily nut choice for seniors due to their omega-6 content, added salt, and potential to increase inflammation. As with everything, moderation is key. And if you're looking for a healthier option, there are plenty of other nuts that can give you more benefits with fewer risks. Next up, we'll wrap everything together and talk about how making just a few simple swaps can lead to better health and more energy. The final part is coming up. Don't miss it. We've talked about quite a few nuts today, the good, the ones to enjoy often, and the ones to be careful with or avoid. Now let's bring it all together and reflect on how small changes in your nut choices can make a big difference for your health and well-being as you age. First, it's important to remember that no one food will make or break your health. It's the overall pattern of what you eat, how active you are, and how well you take care of yourself that matters most. Nuts are just one delicious piece of the puzzle, offering you nutrients that support your heart, brain, and energy. If you start by adding walnuts to your breakfast or a handful of pistachios for a snack, you're giving your brain a boost and helping your blood sugar stay steady. These simple swaps can help reduce inflammation, keep your memory sharper, and give you steady energy throughout the day. On the other hand, cutting back on nuts like cashews, macadamias, pecans with added sugar, or peanuts that can raise inflammation might feel like a small step, but it can have a big impact. This doesn't mean you have to give them up completely. Just enjoy them less often and be mindful of portions and preparation. Real-life stories like George's, Carmen's, Linda's, Martha's, and Ed's show us that it's never too late to make changes. Even small tweaks in what nuts you choose and how much you eat can improve your blood sugar, reduce joint pain, lower cholesterol, and boost your energy. Remember, moderation is key. Nuts are calorie-dense, so a small handful a day is plenty. Too much of any nut can add unwanted calories and affect your weight. Pairing nuts with fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins makes your meals balanced and satisfying. Another gentle reminder: store your nuts properly. Keeping them in the fridge or freezer helps preserve their healthy fats and prevents them from going rancid. Fresh nuts taste better and are more nutritious. Now here's a little encouragement. Don't stress if you forget to eat nuts or if you sometimes indulge in less healthy snacks. Life is about balance and enjoying the foods you love. The key is to be aware and make mindful choices most of the time. If you're inspired by today's video, why not start small? Try adding a few walnuts to your yogurt tomorrow or swapping your usual snack for a handful of pistachios. Notice how your body feels and if you have more energy or feel less hungry between meals. And I'd love to hear from you. What nuts do you enjoy? Have you noticed any health benefits from including them in your diet? Please leave a comment below sharing your experiences or questions. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing for more tips to support your health and well-being as you age. Thank you for spending this time with me. Taking care of yourself with simple, tasty changes is one of the best gifts you can give yourself. Remember, small steps add up to big health wins. Here's to your well-being and joyful snacking.